Welcome to Friday with the Fuzz on AM 1410 WRMN. It is 7:40 in the morning, and just before 7:40. I'm Kyle Molimo, and if you were trying to get today's super password, well, we had a couple of guesses for up. We had some guesses for water. Unfortunately, those were not correct. The super password today was dry. And with all the other passwords, and to kick off the show, we got the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Derek Cooley.
Okay. Well, the super password is dry. We had freeze, clean, heat, bar. I can't remember one of the other ones, but those were a compilation of. So it's, freeze, dry, dry, clean, dry bar.
I like it.
Dry heat.
There you go.
Maybe like a dry heat. It felt good, Dry heat felt good. Anyways, thank you, Kyle. It's time for Friday the Fuzz. I got Deputy Chief Bill Wolf in the studio. Bill, welcome.
Well, thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Welcome back, though.
Thank you.
I know you couldn't stay away too long.
No, absolutely.
We had to get you in here at some point.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. And I was able to stop by. Was it last week or the week before?
Yes,
Mike's last day.
Yes,
so
so
at least it's here. Yes.
Yeah, but then you wanted to be on air. And wanted the mic, and Jeff had the mics. Now it's your turn with the mic. So
finally got it.
Yes. All right. Good. We got you in here for at least this Friday. So we've got all sorts of events. Not too of a loud week here in Elgin. More of a quiet week. I do have one press release from last night was some arrests were made in a juvenile case, and we were kind of talking about it a little bit. Juveniles taken to the Kane County Youth Home. I know. I just had a question real quick what that was, and that's the kind of like the juvenile detention center.
Yes, just a couple of things with that is that first thing I want to say is that you're right. We did have a quiet week, and we love quiet weeks. We want a year full of quiet weeks. That's what we're hoping for.
Yes,
so, the one thing we have seen a slight uptick in robberies such as this. I think Jeff has talked in some of the previous shows. Particularly we've had things where people are trying to do online deals and meet somebody in a dark place, someplace that's not the safest place to do a deal, and so once again we want to encourage people that the police department lobby is open anytime you want to set up a deal, and particularly we've had feedback since we started offering that people will offer that to somebody and all of a sudden they don't want to do the deal, and that should obviously be clue one that probably wasn't a good deal to be getting in the first place. But if you want a safe place to do a Craigslist or transaction or some kind of online auction transaction, great place to go. In this particular case, this was a robbery involving juveniles. There was a gun involved, and the juvenile was eventually arrested and detained in the Kane County Youth Home. And as we were talking before the show, Kane County has a youth home that people initially when they're arrested for more serious crimes. That's where they go. If they're convicted and they've had a history, then sometimes they'll actually go to the state juvenile justice center.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, it's good that the Major Investigations Division got that quickly solved, and those kids hopefully they got them early on in their lives. It's really unfortunate to see juveniles be doing this, especially with firearms, but hopefully they learn a lesson early on and are not continuous career criminals, which sometimes happens. But.
And absolutely, and that's one of the things I think that the juvenile justice system, in particular, is very much designed around rehabilitation and trying to get people when they're obviously from their first time that they commit something and try to get them on the right path. And so we do a lot with that. Most of the time when we arrest juveniles for lower level things, and the first steps are they're just released to their parents. And that's one of the things too is that we kind of gauge the parents very engaged and are taking part in trying to make sure that their son, daughter, whatever doesn't commit those types of crimes again. That's a big part of it, because when the parents are engaged, 9 times out of 10 it makes our job a lot easier, and the chance of recidivism goes down dramatically.
Yeah. So what do arresting officers, what do people at the Elgin Police Department, what do you tell their parents when you go and you go and grab them? What do you do for the parents? Are there ways for parents to be able to learn themselves while their juveniles are being detained, while they're in the Kane County Youth Home? Are there programs or ways where they can maybe better connect with their youth, better be able to parent them?
Yeah, absolutely. Our juvenile officers, I think, do a good job of working with the parents, on lower level things. And then we also have our social workers at the police department that they get involved in a lot of cases. And then at the county level, the county has multiple programs. I mean, anywhere from substance abuse issues, mental health issues, educational type programs, to really get somebody on the right path.
Yeah, excellent. So we've got that, and that was kind of the one arrest here. Well, I wouldn't say the one arrest, but that was the kind of issue this week in Elgin. But other than knocking on wood here,
yes,
quieter week than weeks in other towns, especially in areas as well. We do have some events coming up, so let's start with the event rollout here. We've got the Special Olympics coming up here February 21st in the Polar Plunge. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And law enforcement in general has really taken on over the years, Special Olympics as a cause, and it's something that our police department has, participated in every year. Commander Anna Lally, and she's been here before on the show. She's a big part of coordinating this, along with Detective Tom Wolek. The last few years, they've really taken on the role of coordinating our efforts at the Elgin Police Department in terms of Special Olympics. And so we're going to be participating in the Polar Plunge on February 21st, and that's an event where officers fundraise and get people to donate money for them in return for them jumping in freezing cold water in the middle of winter.
Yes.
And so, I know. Anna does it every year. I had a couple years where I, participated. Not sure. I haven't committed this year for sure yet. And so I'm not.
Waiting for the forecast.
Yes, right. That might have a little something to do with it. So we'll see.
Yeah, excellent. So is there, I know it's a lot of police departments do kind of participate in Special Olympics and Polar Plunges. Can citizens go ahead and where can they donate, and can they go ahead and participate in something like this?
Yeah, actually, if you go online to the Special Olympics website, there's all kinds of portals and ways to donate, and we've got a link for our Elgin Police Department effort, and so you can donate to our effort. We're asking our officers to to fundraise themselves, and then also in addition to the Polar Plunge, after that we do Cop on Top, where we get on top of the Dunkin' Donuts in the area, and we ask for donations, and in return people get I think a free donut or coffee or something like that when they come by, and then we also every year we do the torch run. It's another fundraising event where we run 5 or 6 miles in return for some donations.
Nice, excellent. It's always great events going on with the Elgin Police Department. Also, we've got the Citizens Police Academy, we've got the CERT team training, we've got Senior Citizens Police Academy. These are great ways for citizens, and we talk about getting involved, and if they want to donate, get involved in Special Olympics. Well, this is also great ways to get involved with the police department, with policing in general. If you want to talk a little bit about the Citizens Police Academy and what kind of that entails, and then we'll talk a little bit about the CERT team and how, because with the CERT team, you can really be kind of a part of the department.
Yep, absolutely. So the Citizens Police Academy is something that we've been doing for several years. The last couple of years, we've started a Senior Citizen Police Academy. So we have openings for both the standard police academy, Citizen Police Academy, and the Citizen Police Academy. Those are something where our officers we get such great feedback about the job that our officers do on that, because they go through and we'll have specialists in every area. It might be evidence, it might be somebody from the SWAT team, somebody that handles juvenile issues, that handles investigations, and they go into detail on exactly how they do their job and what's involved in it. Citizens get to go down on a range, use our shooting simulator, and so they kind of see firsthand the training that we do, how we do our job, and the feedback that we get, from people has been phenomenal. And I think that sometimes people, I think we think most people know that sometimes being a police officer is not the easiest job, and you really get to see firsthand all the training and everything that's involved in being a police officer, and everything that officers kind of go through on a day-to-day. Part of that also is that the people that participate also do ride-alongs with the officer, so they kind of get the whole experience and see how officers do their job from every angle. And so I think it also fosters understanding, and so when citizens see officers and doing certain things a certain way, they have an understanding now what we're doing. For example, that there may be times where we'll have 3 or 4 officers on a traffic stop or in a scene someplace, and some people think, oh, that's kind of excessive, or why is there that many officers there? And so we kind of explain kind of how things work, or how we do things in the police department. And it's been a great thing, and we enjoy the interaction with the people that have been through there. And then the other thing that's been great is part of the people that graduate from that have started an alumni association, and this is a group of people that that want to give back to the police department, and they do special things for our officers. That they'll for example, on Thanksgiving they'll come in and make Thanksgiving dinner for the officers, and come in on Christmas and get food for officers that have to work Christmas and special holidays. During the summer they'll have random barbecues that they'll do for officers. And they're just awesome. I know that the chief and I think last year we both went to one of the Alumni Association meetings that was held in February, and it was one of those record cold days. I want to say it was like without the wind chill it was like 20 below.
Yeah.
And the center of Elgin was packed. There must have been 50, 60 people from the Alumni Association coming out in the middle of the evening when it's 20 below zero, and just showing their support and planning activities for the next year. And it's just incredible, and we're so thankful to have an organization like that.
Absolutely. So it sounds like a great thing to be involved in, to be in it further gives back. So if you want to further give back, if you feel like you're a citizen that wants to not only be involved but give back, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're taking applications or sign-ups right now for both. You can go on our website or call our community relations department. The Senior Citizen Police Academy starts June 1st. And the standard Citizen Police Academy starts on April 4th.
And even though those dates sometimes, especially the June 1st, seem like they're far away, that fills up fast.
They do. I don't. Every one we've had has filled up before the start date. So I encourage people to get signed up as soon as possible.
Excellent. And then the CERT team. If you want to just talk a little bit about the CERT team and their involvement in the police department. I know they, the deployment of the CERT team as well, and how they're involved kind of in the workings of the policing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the CERT team, if you're somebody that wants to really get involved in the police department, to the next level where you're actually doing hands-on things.
You can be controlling traffic. You can be you can be on call for certain things too. If certain things do happen here in the city.
Absolutely, and so the CERT is the Citizen Emergency Response Team. And so it's a group of citizens that go through special training and learn how to deal with special kinds of emergencies. And so we routinely call them out on more major incidents. Or even we've had some stuff where we've had major storms that have come through, and there's multiple intersections closed down, and so they come out. They help the officers with traffic control, with scene security, things like that. They'll come out, bring lighting and different things like that. They've even just done simple things like bring out food and water and things like that to kind of replenish officers that are on the scene. So they've been an incredible big help, and they're also trained in response if we ever had a significant if we had a tornado that came through the city or some other kind of major disaster along those lines.
And speaking of training, we've got we want to talk about new officer training that's going to be taking place, tactical emergency care, and also Narcan. So we want to touch on a little bit of each of those. Talk a little bit about the new officer training that's taking place.
Yeah, and so we've every for the last 15 or more years, every year every 2 years we train officers and we certify them in CPR and use of AEDs. And over the years, we started out, we received a grant, it was again maybe 10, 15 years ago for about 10 AEDs to get, and those are automated external defibrillators designed to restart somebody's heart. We got some of those in our cars, and then progressively we've been adding a few each year, and we're up to the point now where we have every single patrol squad car in Elgin is equipped with an AED, and so it's something that we've continually done, and continued training officers, keep them up to date on the newest standards in CPR and using the AED. And so we've also more recently we incorporated first aid into it, and then now this year we're incorporating two other things where we're going to incorporating something called tactical casualty care, where officers will get some other tools, specialized bandages and things to be able to stop more serious bleeding, and then also they're going to be trained and issued Narcan. And Narcan is a drug used to if somebody is overdosed on heroin or a similar type drug, it will actually contradict the effects of the opioids and allow the officer to potentially save somebody's lives. There's been other agencies that have done this. Officers have used it pretty successfully so far, and we're going to start doing the same thing here in Elgin.
Excellent. Yeah, and you never know, because with the Narcan, Narcan's been, I think Lake County Sheriff maybe has tested on it, and I know a couple times they've saved a bunch of lives. A bunch of lives have been saved with Narcan. So I also think I read that CVS might be starting to carry it over the counter, a non-prescription form of it, but I don't know. Not really
I know there's been several articles about Narcan becoming more readily available for the general public, and but we're working with the King County Health Department, and they're actually they have a grant program where they're going to be giving us the Narcan.
Yeah.
We already have officers that were sent through to become train the trainers, and so we're going to start the training here in February.
And what kind of training is involved in? Is it it's probably a lot of textbook kind of training about Narcan, about signs of an overdose. What other kind of training is involved in, I guess, administering Narcan?
There is the the textbook type of thing where you're going through and looking at signs and when you would use it. But then we also have actual trainers, and so there's a couple of different ways that Narcan, or there's multiple ways Narcan can be delivered, but the two ways most common that we're seeing that police officers are doing it is through an auto injector. And you've probably seen people that have food allergies. They'll have an EpiPen.
Yeah.
This auto injector of Narcan is very similar to an EpiPen. And matter of fact, it's even automated where all the officer has to do is they press it to the person's leg, push a button, and it kind of steps them through the entire process.
Wow.
And so it's very simple.
Yeah.
The other way that we're seeing it is through a nasal, injector, where you basically take a syringe and you have it's basically like a foam piece that kind of fits in somebody's nostril, and it's just injected into their nose. And so that's the other way, and so we're gonna initially be starting out with the auto injectors, but we're getting the Narcan from the county health department, and at some point if the health department switches over to the nasal, then we'll switch with them. But initially we're going to start with the auto injector.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, that's definitely I think very 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 positive for the community, just for the officers to be able to. They're another thing that they're able to, because you never know what you're going to come up on when you're a traffic stop, a house call. You never know what you're going to be able to see. So
absolutely, and we're very lucky in Elgin that we've got a very good fire department. Our fire department has very short response times, and so it was one of the reasons we we're a little bit later adopters on this is because we kind of wrestled with it because our fire department does such a good job. Their response times are so short. They obviously carry Narcan and that, and so we thought after looking at the program that the health department that did, and you figure it can't hurt, and have our officers to have it as well.
Excellent. And we had a couple other things we want to touch on here real quick. You wanted to remind people about vehicle stickers.
Yes.
We're not going to be getting reminders. We got to be more vigilant as citizens.
Yes, and as you know that we might have a slight budget problem in the state. I don't know if anybody's heard about that, but and one of the things that was done is to save money is the state's no longer sending out vehicle sticker reminders by mail. And so I know we all for years counted on those, and it was kind of our prompt to
it was the prompt. Yes, it really was.
And unfortunately, they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And so you can sign up online. I know that most people, that's becoming more mainstream to do the online renewals and anything anyway. Makes things easier. If you don't have access to the internet and your email's not with the Secretary of State, you can go to the Secretary of State's office and do the transaction there by hand. But either way, people are still responsible for making sure that their sticker is valid. The date is there.
The date's there. You can see it. So
we're telling our officers, because this is new and people are used to that reminder, that we're asking our officers to have discretion. When they come across somebody with expired plate, if the person didn't get the reminder. But at some point, the discretionary period is going to come to an end, and people need to get those renewed on time.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great reminder. I think they do emails now, so if you do have your email with the Secretary of State's office, you get the email. Otherwise, you just gotta know and either go to the Secretary of State's office. I think I was looking through my mail. I'm like, because I don't know how to sign into the thing. So I was looking through the mail last summer when mine's always July, so I know that time. And I had to get and then I was able to contact the Secretary of State's office, get me to sign in because I couldn't find a letter. It was there somewhere, but.
Yes.
So
probably a long term. It's going to, once everybody gets used to the new system. I think it's going to be a good thing because on top of saving money, it's also saving paper.
Saving trees.
Exactly.
Important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's less work on somebody. It's probably a lot of work just to mail it out and just a reminder when people can actually just look at your license plate, look at the sticker, and just be vigilant, be aware of when you need to update that because it can get costly. It can get costly if you got expired plates. That's not just a town like ordinance. That's a ticket.
So
It's a fine. So you can have expired plates. So and also real quick to wrap up here, if you're tuning in right now, this is Friday the Fuzz with Deputy Chief Bill Wolf. We've got recruiting. We're going to talk about a little bit of recruiting and testing coming up this summer.
Yeah, and so we're going to be starting our testing process to looking for new police officers this summer. And I know summer's still several months away, but
the groundhog did not see his shadow.
Right. So we're hoping to be here quicker. Yes. So at least the warm weather will be here quicker.
We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know how it affects the speed.
I don't know. Has anybody ever done any research? Like how accurate is the groundhog really?
Maybe just I don't know. We'll get Kyle on that. So.
Right. So and actually Christy is our one of our crime analysts for the police. That's the type of stuff we ask her to do is to prove right how effective is something. So maybe that could be a new project.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, back on topic. So we're going to be testing this summer, and so we're starting to get the word out. We're really stepping up our recruiting efforts. Trying to get a big pool of highly qualified, diverse candidates. Just want to kind of remind people that if you're interested, you can go to our website where we have all the information about what the requirements are. We made some changes. The last time we did some testing and made some other options for people that don't have a bachelor's degree because we are it's a requirement that not a lot of police departments have. Our base requirement is that you need a bachelor's degree to get hired, and it's been like that for 10 plus years in our police department. We made some exceptions now, so if somebody has full-time military experience, that can be waived, and they only need 60 hours of credit, college credit. Or if somebody's been a police officer for 2 or more years, that can be waived. If somebody's been in our Explorer program and reaches certain milestones, that can be waived down to the 60 hours. And so if somebody's if you're somebody that's interested and you're close to finishing your bachelor's degree or close to getting that 60 hours, if you fall into one of those areas where the exception is there, we encourage people to get that done as quick as possible, and so they can take our test. Some of the other requirements are you have to be at least 21 years of age to take the test. You have to have be a U.S. citizen. Some of the basic requirements: have a driver's license. People that go through the testing process are required to pass a physical fitness test. They go through a psychological test. They take a written test, and they go through an interview, a panel interview with our Police and Fire Commission. And then after all that is done, then we create a list, and the list is good for 2 years. Our lists normally have between about 20 and 30 people on it, and we normally hire within that 2-year period about 20 people.
Wow, excellent.
So yeah,
well, job creation always good.
Absolutely,
especially this time of year. So not only doing great things, but also creating great jobs here in the city of Elgin. So if anybody's interested, definitely look for more information. Bill, it's been great. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we will be back with more Friday the Fuzz. Maybe have the chief in next Friday. We'll
Absolutely.
See. But we wanted to have you in. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, this has been Friday the Fuzz with Derek and Deputy Chief Bill Wolf. You're listening to AM 1410 WRMN in Elgin.